People are lonely, people are looking for more connection. There's so many other people in this world who you could connect with and you never know. And so we thought, why don't we create a travel community? Because that's one thing I'm super passionate about.
She is the founder of Out of Office Collective, a luxury travel brand that's bringing young professionals and creative together. Can you describe the feeling you had when you had your first trip?
It was nice, like kind of seeing people just kind of get together. I like seeing people make friends. I like seeing people happy. I like seeing people just tell me that I'm so glad you did this because I've been looking for this kind of thing. And it really motivates me. It was really satisfying and I don't know, it brought me lots of joy.
How are you managing to foster your community outside of Out of Office?
It's hard myself to think about my own needs, my own personal community. There are things that I have neglected because I put so much effort into Out of Office. You need breaks. Breaks are so important. I need time to step away from Out of Office and say, I need to focus on my own personal community, my own friends, my own family. People feel neglected and I don't want that to happen, and it has happened multiple times and I regret it.
What is your playbook on building community?
I think...
Hey real ones, and welcome to a new episode of Real with Rayo. I am a Rayo, and today I have a very, very special guest. I have been thinking a lot about community building, right? I think we live in a world that's more connected than ever before, but we all feel lonelier than we've ever felt. And I've been thinking about the cost of community because I know it's almost become a buzzword now that everyone wants to tap into, corporations want to tap into, consumers want to tap into. And there is a cost behind community, right? It might not be monetary, but it is in energy, it is in presence, it is in consistency. And today's guest is embodying everything that represents. She's building something real, especially when convenience is so easy. She is the founder of Out of Office Collective, a luxury travel brand that's bringing young professionals and creative together. Please welcome Mel to the show.
Hello, thank you for having me.
You're so welcome.
I guess a little introduction. Hello, my name is Mel. I am the co-founder of Out of Office Collective. We can touch on that more.
Okay.
And yes, so I guess a little introduction to Out of Office Collective. It was co-founded by my friend Tamara and I. It was ideated 2 years ago. And then I think our launch event was like last January. But I guess it kind of came about because us two, we just kind of love to travel. We've been traveling our whole lives. And we kind of, especially with me creating content, I kind of noticed there was a trend of people wanting to like go on my trips. I get so many comments like, oh, where are you traveling? I'd love to come. Obviously, I felt a bit uncomfortable at first. I was like, oh, I don't really know these people. I don't know if I want to travel with them. But I think in my head, I've always been a community person. I've been involved in so many communities in uni, even after uni. And then it kind of came to me like, well, why don't I create a travel community? That there had kind of been some around, but more towards kind of just like group trips. And like, I think in the US that it was a big thing, but in the UK, I kind of noticed there was a gap, I'd say. And at the time, I think this is 2023 and 2023, there was kind of a big gap. You didn't really see communities. You see a lot of them now. And I think it's just people are noticing the same trend as I was. It's kind of like people are lonely, people are looking for more connection. And so we thought, why don't we create a travel community? Because that's one thing I'm super passionate about. And yeah, so at the beginning, I think I want to say July 2023, we came together and we're just like, what do we want to do? What should we create? And I was like, oh, we should create a travel community. And yeah, from there, we were just like thinking of, okay, what we're going to do, what are our offerings, what's our name? The name thing is so interesting because
my mom loves your name, by the way. Yes. I was speaking to her yesterday and I was telling her about what you do. And I was like, oh, their company's called Out of Office Collective. She was like, I love that name because she's a travel junkie. She's been to like over 60 countries. That's very much her bag. But that's amazing. And I didn't realize Out of Office Collective was co-founded by your other friend, Tamara.
Yeah.
Apologies, Tamara. I'm so sorry. You deserve your credit. No. And I think both of you are doing an amazing job.
She is interesting because at the beginning, she was like, yeah, I want to be a silent investor. She didn't want to like, because obviously I was the person in the public eye, I guess, with my content. And she was like, yeah, I kind of want to be quiet about it. But in the end, we just decided that it wouldn't work for it just to be kind of just me. Like having her in there, also makes sense as well. And she loves it. She loves it.
Did she go on all the trips as well?
Majority. I've been on the most trips so far because I guess my annual leave made more sense at the time than hers did.
Right.
But now I've quit. I have more time in my hands. So it will be that I probably will still go on more trips than she does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You spoke earlier on about realizing the gap in the market. And I think even now, it's still very evident that what you're doing, what I find is so amazing, because there was that foresight there that we needed this. And I think it's something that's going to grow exponentially over the next couple of years. So apart from you realizing the gap in the market, and I know you also said earlier, you've always been community driven, and our mutual friend Farida can also attest to it. I told her I was speaking to you today, and she was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Mel has always been the one to plan our group trips. But what made you realize actually you were initially apprehensive about having strangers on? What made you think, okay, I'm just going to do this?
I think after uni, there was a bit, especially because of COVID, there was a bit of a struggle to kind of like make new friends, and I'd made work friends, but I think especially because my friends were moving abroad, my Frida, my other friend Ada, they had all moved abroad, and I was just kind of like, I'm a bit, no, I wouldn't say lonely, but I'm finding less people that I can do things with. And I think the reason that apprehension left was because I was meeting people online. I was thinking there's all these different people that are willing and seem kind and want to do things. I'd love to meet them in person, have the opportunity to actually like potentially go on trips with them. And obviously, I think a big thing about our community is that we don't necessarily want to just jump on trips to people. We do encourage people to meet up in real life, meet before we host like pre-trip socials, all these different events, because I think people deserve to meet people first before they say, okay, I can go on a trip with you.
I love that. You have to
it's
pass the vibe check. Come on.
Honestly. But yeah, it's interesting though, because like we get a lot of people, we call ourselves a global community, and we get a lot of people from like the States and from Europe booking, so they can't necessarily join our our socials. Actually. So it's interesting that they kind of like, they're confident enough to just kind of jump in. And I think one of the biggest things we kind of want to do next is, okay, how can we like bridge the gap between the people in London and people abroad? Is it that we do virtual things? I guess because of COVID,
I was thinking that
we've moved away from virtual things as much, because we're kind of like, no, we want to see people in real life. But it's still, I think the things that were set up in that time can still be very useful in terms of meeting people abroad. So
yeah, definitely. Can you describe the feeling you had when you had your first trip?
Oh gosh, okay. We had a trip that we released first, and then we had like another trip we planned before them. So we had a trip to Bucharest. That was a day trip. And that was like before we did a kind of full long like overnight trip. But the trip to Bucharest, it was like 50 people. It was like an extreme day trip. Took Ryanair, and I'm gonna, I hate Ryanair. Hate Ryanair.
Same.
But it was our only choice, and to make it happen, like we were literally so strict. We said to people, you have to get this flight at this time. We're gonna transfer for this time. And I think honestly, to be fair, this trip was kind of, we let people loose when we got there. So we're kind of like, okay, you guys have this, you have your credits. When you get there, you're basically free to do it. You won't break up in groups. But it was nice, like kind of seeing people just kind of get together. Like basically you're forced to make friends, because some people, mind you, went and they were happy to be by themselves. But some people went and they were like, okay, I've been put out of my comfort zone straight away. I need to make friends. And I guess kind of seeing the different groups, people who joined together, and after that trip as well, just seeing people who made friends genuinely in real life off of that was really, really like satisfying. And I don't know, it brought me lots of joy.
Yeah.
That trip, but then I don't think that trip is a true reflection of what we do, because like you can't, logistically, it was a lot easier than our multi-day trips. And I think the most satisfaction I get is kind of like after the trip, when I kind of can see in real life the connections people have made and like actual like, I don't know, it just kind of shows to me that, okay, cool, we did something here. We were able to actually, it's not just doing the trip and people having a great holiday, it's actually forming something real with
like
different people.
Long-term relationships.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's beautiful. And was Tamara on that trip as well?
Yeah, so Tamara was on Bucharest, and then also our first like long trip, which was to Gran Canaria.
Yeah.
And yeah, we kind of like, I think on trips, I think in the beginning, it was a bit of a balance trying to figure out, okay, what does this person do? What does this person do? But as time has gone on, like our roles have naturally have naturally come together. And I think it depends. With each trip is really different in terms of who plans it, in terms of what we're doing. So some trips I've been to one to kind of like take charge in kind of what we're doing, the activities. Some trips Tamara has. And for an example, like we just went to Greece and Brazil this month. So for Brazil, Tamara was really in charge of the logistics in terms of the organizing, the companies we were using, while I was on the back and I was kind of doing the messages in the chat, trying to organize people, the admin side. And that can like change between each trip. And I guess the way we worked, it's still in progress. Like there's still so much we need to balance and figure out. But we've kind of we understand our roles, which is nice. And that at the beginning, I think I don't want to say at the beginning it was like super hard. I think our friendship is really interesting because we're friends, and a lot of people don't really aren't really friends with their business partners. But the way we are as people, like my strengths are her weaknesses, and her weaknesses are my strengths. Did I say the same thing?
No, that was well said. Yeah.
So like there's a good synergy there, and it's really great.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Did you have any apprehension before going into business with your friend?
No, I think we were both on the same page, and like we acknowledged kind of again what our strengths and weaknesses were, and the strengths we could bring to each other. And yes, we've had our disagreements. There are of course arguments, but we're able to get over those quite quickly and talk things out, which is really important. And it doesn't really necessarily affect our friendship, which is nice because I think, we get along really, really well. One of my closest friends. We met in sixth form, and since then we've been quite close. And we did fall out of touch in uni, and after that we kind of reconnected, and that's when our house was born.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Amazing. And how has community changed you personally?
I have made so many more friends. I've met so many people, and I think for me the people is like the most important thing. I never thought like I genuinely would have a group of friends now of office. It was at first it was nice to see people making their own friendships, but then when my own came about, I was kind of shocked and I didn't expect it because I was kind of like, this wasn't for me necessarily. But it's also made me a lot more extroverted. I still class myself as an introvert, but the way that I talk to people now, like I couldn't have imagined myself the way I talk to people, the confidence I'm able to exude. And it's all I believe confidence is a skill. Extrovertedness is also a skill. And it's something I've been able to develop. Also remembering people's names. I was not good at names at all. Now on the same day I could meet like we had 40 people in Greece, same day I could remember all 40 people's names.
Wow.
So that's random. But a lot memory skills are really important here. I also want people to feel like included, and I don't want forgetting people's names. It makes me feel so bad because that's the least I could do.
Yeah. What did you notice about community from your first trip?
It's not as simple as like just putting people in one place. You kind of have to handhold them, and I guess there's the argument of, oh, everybody's an adult, everybody should be able to like hold themselves. Not necessarily. Like they've trusted you to bring them on a trip, and like you're responsible for the itinerary, and you're also kind of responsible for the people they meet and how they interact with people. So at the beginning, we were kind of, I don't want to say we just had a little bit of oversight on the kind of things we needed to do in terms of socials on our trips. And that became really clear on our first trip. And after that, we kind of said, okay, cool. How are we going to sit down and actually make more sense for people in terms of meeting people on these trips? And so like, we make sure that first night on every trip is a social. And in fact, after our Brazil trip last month, we realized that we kind of need to continue that each night, I think, because people, again, like first night isn't enough. You don't know these people from anywhere. So you kind of need people do need the hand holding, I think. And I don't mind. I think that's part of it. And I think that's what makes our group special as such. We're really invested in these groups and the people, I guess. So.
Yeah. What feedback did you get from your first trip that you've implemented consistently, apart from the realization that people need more social events every night?
I think it's a random one. People need to eat food.
So people is me.
People need to eat food.
Yeah.
So it was an all-inclusive resort, and there was lots of options. But when we were doing activities, we had done a boat trip, and it was only 4 hours. But like they said, oh yeah, we're giving you guys like chicken wraps, and honestly, it was not enough food. People were like tired on that boat because they had not eaten and they were going to swim. And like after that, I was like, okay, when I'm dealing with people, I need to make sure like there's food at every single thing, and the food that they're getting is substantial enough that even if there's leftovers, it's fine, but there needs to be food. I guess another one would be kind of, and same lines of food, is kind of having a private space for our community to be in. So in the first hotel, we got noise complaints every night, and they were like, we were in the lobby, mind you, they were just being a bit weird, but we got noise complaints every night, and we're just sitting in the lobby, and we kind of, after that, we were like, okay, there needs to be a space approved by the hotels, mind you, that we can be in, and we've said we're going to be loud, and they accept that that's fine, so we're not going to get those complaints. So after that trip, every email went sent to the hotels were like, what space can you guys give us that we can make noise in that won't disturb other guests, that you guys are fine with? And they've given us spaces. We paid for spaces. We've included that in our costing because it's important that everyone has a place where they can gather. This was like personal feedback in terms of logistics. when we did the first trip, we were kind of like trying to make it affordable as possible. And because of that, we were kind of using, for example, different transfer companies based off quotes. And that made things logistically hell because you're trying to like organize transfers for these different companies. And like on our end, we're trying to manage people. And it was a lot to manage. So one thing that we do now is that we literally just go to hotels, like, who is your transfer company? What can they give us? And we just do it that way. It makes things a lot easier to handle. But for ourselves, also for the guests, it makes things so much more simple to deal with. And I think logistics is one thing that I guess has changed a lot. Also communication. We had a WhatsApp chat originally, and that was there. But I think the way we structure our messages, the way we send things now is so different. So nightly messages, morning messages, reminders, we send polls. There's constant messaging just to get people to make sure that they understand what's going on the day. Obviously, we have itineraries that are given. Another thing there's so many things we've learned. We're actually rerunning our first trip next year to the same hotel, same location. And I was saying to people, like, if you guys are coming on that trip, like, there's stark differences between the way we run things then and the way we run things now, because we take in feedback not from just that trip, but from every single trip and try to make things a lot better. So even like the gift bags we give, the first gift bag was like a paper bag. Now we give people tote bags, custom stuff, and like water bottles, get PR. There's so many things that go into it, but it's all fun.
Yeah. And how much feedback do you actually get from your community that you invest back into?
We try to invest all the feedback we get, because like a lot of it is really, really valuable. Some things, some stuff we know, like for example, logistics wise, but some stuff is like things we've overlooked, like the social aspect, for example. And everything is valuable because at the end of the day, it's not for us, it's for the people. So we need to make sure that they're comfortable, they're feeling like they're getting their money's worth, they're making their friends feeling comfortable in a hotel. So everything we try to include.
Yeah, I think this is really interesting because community essentially is about everyone, right? Inclusivity is super important,
Very, very
and it's at the
important.
heart of what you do. So how much of building Out of Office Collective is you and your feelings and thoughts towards certain things, and how much is it just taking into account what the people want?
So it's quite an interesting question, because at the beginning, we didn't really necessarily want to be like all these social events in London doing all these things. We were kind of like, we just want to do trips, and we want to like help plan like private trips for people.
Yeah.
But because we incorporated, like we use this app called Geneva, and then they shut down, so we use Discord now. Because we had that active forum for people to actually let us know their thoughts, people were like, oh, we want to meet up, oh, we want to do these things. And I was kind of like, okay, I need to kind of separate my personal feelings from just wanting to do this and actually give people the space they want. Because if they want it, who am I to deny them?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're doing it for them, not just for me. And it's all fun. Like as long as I feel like I can deliver, I'll try and do it. So even when we had to move from our Geneva platform, we're like, okay, give us suggestions of where we should go. The most people voted for Discord. Even the holidays we want to do, like at the beginning, it was more, okay, where do I want to go? What can I plan? But now it's more, okay, where do people want to go? My certain limitation with that is that I don't necessarily want to plan trips to places people haven't been to, or I don't necessarily want to plan trips to places I haven't been to, because I don't feel like I can provide the best advice or the best experience. But again, I've been to a lot of places. I think my count right now is 44 countries.
Nice.
And tomorrow is probably about similar. So across us, we've been to such a wide range of countries that if people suggest things, more often than not, we can deliver it quite confidently.
Yeah.
So yeah, at the end of the day, community is not just for one person, it's for everybody. And so I want to make sure majority of people can feel included and feel like they're actually being listened to and heard in what we're doing.
What has been the real cost behind building community, right? Because even in my personal life, I know it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of time, it takes sacrifice. Inconvenience is the cost of community, right? You're not always going to be in the mood to pick up that text, pick up the phone, go to another birthday dinner or show up, right? Because you might have your stuff going on. And truthfully, I'm the type of person, when I'm swamped and I'm overwhelmed, I go into a shell. Like I just can't, because also I can be quite snappy and I don't want to take that on other people. So balancing that, in addition to being like, okay, but I need to reply this when I'm like over capacity, trying to wear so many hats. How do you balance that cost of community in your personal life? And then I also want to touch on, Out of Office Collective.
I guess that's why I enjoy like having Tamara as like a friend, not only just
Mm.
like a co-founder, because I feel like we can share our doubts, we can share our issues with each other, and we can support each other in that aspect. There are times in the mornings when I wake up, I'm just like, I don't want to do this, I don't want to go out today, but then I have to remember that I have so much on me, and I have to keep moving forward. And in itself, that is an accountability partner, I guess. Alpha is my accountability partner, because if I don't deliver, there's so many people who've paid money and got so many things on the line that are going to be upset that we haven't
Yeah.
delivered. And I guess there's also a little bit of shame there as well. Like I have so much pride and don't want people to be disappointed, or don't want things to not go out the way or show the way they're supposed to. And so it is really hard. Like you said, like some mornings you just literally, it's extremely hard, I would say. But yeah, I think community comes at a cost, but there is so much reward for it as well. And I think the rewards do keep me going. I like seeing people make friends. I like seeing people happy. I like seeing people just tell me that I'm so glad you did this because I've been looking for this kind of thing. And yeah, it really motivates me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think the relationships ultimately are the rewards, right? Those relationships are so integral to honestly our well-being and our happiness, because I study a lot of Japanese culture because I'm very intrigued by their culture. And Ikigai is a book I read a couple of years ago. And one of the, I guess, suggestions that the Japanese have proposed is to have a community for as long as you can, right? Even when you're elderly and you're ill, or you're going through different stages in your life, it's like, don't neglect that community, because ultimately that is what will save you. And I've seen it in my life, truthfully, going through grief, heartbreak, happiness, celebrations, like the ups and the downs. The real ones are always there, right? And then I also see it in my mom's life and how she prioritized a lot of her friendships now. And seeing her with her group of friends that she went to school in, like, what, 1985? Like, I just love it. And I'm like, wow, you've really held that community. And I see how they show up for each other when they're going through different life stages as adults now and as parents, and, soon to be, I'm sure some of them are even grandparents. So I would really want to talk about how you ultimately put that. How do you prioritize community regardless of what's going on in your life? Because I think is one thing to do it, you've committed to it, like you said, you have business and you have people relying on you. But in your personal life, right? How are you managing to foster your community outside of office?
It's interesting because I think it's hard, especially when like you said, there's a business side to it, and there's like people you've committed things, and it's hard myself to kind of think about like my own needs, my own personal community. There are things that I have neglected because I put so much effort into out of office, and some friendships that I've lost, honestly, because like I've had such a set focus on one thing at one time. And I think the important thing is like you need breaks. Breaks are so important. I need time to step away from out of office and say, look, I need to focus on my own personal community, my own friends, my own family, because people feel neglected, and I don't want that to happen, and it has happened multiple times. And I regret it, honestly. Like, I don't want people to think that all Mel thinks about is these people are not the people who have been there for her on all other times aside from out of office. So, like, breaks are important. Family holidays are important. Like, I just came back from a family holiday last month. My mum was like, it's good that we have this time because, like, we don't really see each other really outside of maybe some evenings that we're home, but you're always traveling. My parents are always traveling. And it's important that we take some time together. And it's the same with friends. I mean, a lot of my friends have moved from London, so I don't see them as often, but I want to like try and see them when I can. Even myself, like I want to go on holidays that aren't planned by out of office, and have my own community outside of that. So, for example, I'm planning to go on soft life ski next
Oh, nice.
April, because I just want to go on a holiday that is not planned by me.
Yeah.
Even my family holidays are planned by me. And even in terms of friends, like it's just that I will try my best to show up for my friends, no matter the cost. I will, like, for example, Frida, I'm going to be there. Originally my trip was planned I was supposed to go leave on the 29th of December, cancelled my flight, moved the flight. It cost me an extra £700, but I said, you know what? So for somebody who showed up for me for so much of my life, I have to be there for her. There was no way I wasn't going to be there. So that's the kind of sacrifice you have to make. Like, it's not just sacrificing for like in terms of my time and like effort for out of office, but also sacrificing the time that I would put energy into my business as well to be there for my people who are always there for me. So
Yeah. That's really beautiful. And I love that. Thank you for being so honest about regretting some of the relationships that you've neglected. Because sometimes I have that guilt. Like, I know I haven't been as present and I know I'm not as active, on the group chat because I'm like trying to balance so many
Literally.
things. And I'm like, how do mothers do it?
I don't know how people do it, honestly. I'm the kind of person where when I'm focused on something, everything else is to the side. So like if I'm on a trip, I literally focus just on the trip.
Yeah.
People are messaging me on the outside and I can't focus on that because I'm trying to focus on this one thing.
Yeah.
And when I get back, I have this regret. I'm just like, I'm so sorry, like genuinely.
Yeah.
I can only
and it looks bad, but then it's
so
like
bad.
that's the truth.
And people think it's an excuse, but I don't want to, like a lot of these times these days, I don't like to say things are excuses, they're reasons.
Yeah.
I can only do so much.
I literally said that the other day to someone. Yeah. It's just to give you context. But ultimately, I think effort is what matters, right? And intentional effort is always appreciated, regardless of the capacity that is extended at. So, what does showing up look like for you in your personal life? What do you require from your community?
As in for like me, myself showing up for them or people showing up for me?
People showing up for you.
Honestly, it doesn't take a lot, I'll be real, because like I understand that I call myself the low maintenance friend. I think that also I don't mind, and because of that I don't mind if people are low maintenance for me. So just simply reposting an Elvis post on your story, or like just wishing me a happy birthday, like there's not a lot of things I necessarily require to continue calling some of my friends, to be honest. Like I said, I do have regrets and like those things have happened and I can't do anything about it, but because of that I've learned that maybe I do need to show up a bit more people, but at the same time I do feel like the same people necessarily didn't show up for me, and maybe that's why things turn out the way they did. But again, it doesn't take a lot. All I really want is just like my TikTok video I made, repost this thing, just help word get out there what I'm doing, and that's all I really need.
Yeah. How do you protect your energy as a community builder?
I learn not to take. I'm learning, I haven't learned myself, but learning not to take things too deeply. Learning that I can't please everybody. I think that's really, really important, because if you try to focus on the two bad things somebody have said, you're going to forget the hundreds of the good things people have said.
Yeah.
And that is really important. As somebody who I can very easily take a lot of things to heart, it's hard because it's kind of like I want to focus on that one thing somebody has said, but I'm not realizing that there are so many other good things I'm doing.
Yeah.
I think also, sorry, repeat the question.
How do you protect your energy as a community builder?
I think also breaks. Like I said before, breaks are really, really important. So we've had 2 back-to-back trips. I need to take a break. I will like tell Tamara, we'll figure it out, like who can do what, who can cover what. So I don't need to be focused on the emails or focused on the Discord or focused on replying to people, just so I can get some time to just relax a little bit. Like even on the trips themselves, like the Greece trip ended on Wednesday and I took an extra day and stayed an extra day on Thursday, just so I could actually like holiday a bit myself.
Yeah, because technically you're working.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a holiday. Yes, I am enjoying, but I'm still like actively responsible for people. So it was just nice to just sit there on the beach yesterday, read my book and not think about anyone else but myself. Yeah.
I love that for you.
It was nice.
In the age of convenience where everything is just a tap away, instant, Instagram, Instacart, we want everything super, super quick. Why do you feel like genuine connections are hard to foster? Or why do you think people find genuine connections hard to foster?
I think people uphold certain expectations on what their friendship should be like. So they want instant replies, instant like answers from people, and they're not necessarily thinking about how other people foster their own relationships and how they even want to respond to things on their phones, for example. So I think also people are a bit less inconsiderate. People are a bit more inconsiderate these days.
Yeah.
And more selfish. And in some aspects, it can be a good thing to be more selfish, but in some aspects, you need to give people space and give them time and understand people a bit more. I think people don't give people enough grace either these days. People are so quick to say, look, you're not doing what I need you to do as a friend, so I'm going to cut you off. But without thinking about how the other person, even themselves, responds to relationships. I mentioned before, I'm a low maintenance friend. In that aspect, I'm kind of the person who won't necessarily like text people constantly. But if you tell me I need to be somewhere, show up for you, I will be there. So I think and people don't understand that. Some people say, no, I don't want that kind of friend in my life. And that's very fair. But I think, again, people should give people more grace. People are so quick to cover a friend without kind of understanding what that friendship needs, because it's not going the way they want. But friendship is a two-way street. It needs to be balanced. I just think people need to also just communicate a bit better.
Yeah.
I think people don't necessarily let their thoughts be known. Everyone's looking for confrontation, or someone doesn't want to have confrontation. And even that is not good. I always used to be the friend who was kind of like, I hate confrontation, but talking things out is so important.
Yeah.
You can literally just fix so many problems by just having an honest conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
So yeah, genuine connections. I also think you just never know. You people also say that they've met all their friends, they've made all the friends they need to meet. And I think by doing that, you've put yourself in a box. You've now decided that I don't need to meet any other people, when there's so many other people in this world who you could connect with and you never know. Every trip I go on, I meet people who I'm like, this is a really cool person. If I was to visit this city, I would definitely see you and continue talking to you. It's really random. My close friend story on Instagram has like 130 people on it, but it's generally because
sorry, your close friends.
So like I said, like, it doesn't take a lot for me to call your friend.
Yeah.
Generally, all you need to do.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Like, I meet so many people these days, and like close friends, I don't have Snapchat anymore. So like, it's not like I would, like, if I could, if there was option for you to like have levels of close friends on Instagram, then that would be helpful. But my close friends is just people that in my opinion, that I've clicked with and who I find cool and I like them. So that is all it takes, really. And I think people just need to just take themselves a little bit less seriously. Yeah. And enjoy life. And like, we're young. There's so much life to live, so many more people to meet.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I really struggle with this, you know. It's so funny. This conversation is actually timely because even in my personal life, I find that, similar to you, I am a low maintenance friend. And truthfully, I go through times where, like, I might not be as available, not because I don't love you and I don't care for you, but I am trying to balance so many things and wear so many hats that the things you need, if they're not communicating to me, I might miss it, right? I'll never miss the big things because, you know, the big things are the big things. They're important, right? But I try my best, and I find that compatibility is also super important in friendships and community as it is in relationships, because we tend to look at that and prioritize that for relationships, or we don't actually think about it in building our community. But if we're intentional in building our community, then I think one of the things we need to consider is compatibility, right? Because communication also helps to bridge that gap, but naturally you're just going to mesh well with some people more than others.
Agreed.
Naturally your value systems are going to be more aligned. Naturally your communication styles and your, I guess, like, your conflict resolution skills also need to be aligned or communicated so you can align.
Exactly.
So it's really interesting because as we grow older, I can see why people find relationships harder, and relationships in terms of, like, you know, I use it as a general term, not just romantic relationships, because it requires more. Naturally, when you're in school, at default, you're on the same time schedule, you're at the same stage in your life, everything is just like, it's so convenient. It's so convenient. But when you have to put the work in,
that's when it gets hard.
It gets hard. It gets really, really hard. But back to out of office, how do you balance luxury and accessibility? Because essentially you're a luxury, like, travel company, but then you want people to feel inclusive because the premise of the company is community.
Exactly.
How do you balance that?
There's certain things you have to cut corners on. And it's interesting because I was thinking about this yesterday. I was thinking, as time goes on, maybe we have to cut less of those corners if we want to, like, stick to our luxury. It's either that luxury and accessibility, some people say it's not possible. It's kind of like the word affordable luxury is like just juxtaposition, right? It doesn't necessarily make sense. But I think there's certain things you can do on a trip that can make it cheaper. Like, for example, originally I would have said group travel makes things cheaper, but naturally, or even, it doesn't necessarily make things cheaper. So aside from that point, I think it's just being, I think it's like knowing what things you need to cut corners on, knowing what things which you need to put effort into. So one thing I will never ever skimp on is a hotel, but it depends if that hotel themselves can deliver for us. So when we went on our Greece trip, I reached out to 7 hotels. Only 2 then got back to us. One of them now said, okay, we can't give you guys twin beds. and we're kind of like, oh, that's not good for our community because they don't know each other. They can't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily share a double bed. So we went for this other hotel. Now, did I like that hotel we went to? No. Outwardly, it gave the aesthetic of luxury. And I guess it's just me learning I need to be a bit more picky on my hotels. But another thing that we can save on is transfers. So one thing we like, unless it's a super long journey, I'll be honest, I'm not going to go for the Sprinter. It's so expensive. It like triples the transfer cost. But that's why our trips can be cheaper. But now as time has gone on, I'm realizing that these outward appearances, as such as the transfer, even though it's a 20-minute drive, they are important to people. Will it increase the cost of our trips? Yes. But I think as times has gone on and people are more like trustworthy of us, that we don't necessarily need to cut corners like that. If the trip is more expensive because we're delivering more luxury experience, I don't think people mind. Again, one thing that's really important to me is market research and actually like litmus testing these things. So on our Brazil trip, we had a hotel that we picked for Rio. Rio, notoriously, the hotels are not great. But we picked this hotel because we've done 2 trips to Brazil. So we did one in March and we did one last month. First one we did picked a hotel in Ipanema beachfront. It was nice, but the rooms are tiny. It smelled damp. 4-star hotel, which was quite nice, very boutique. The food was good, but it just wasn't there. And then for our second trip, they even messed us up and like basically double booked and basically said we can't give you the booking. So we had to go for another hotel. So for the hotel we went for, it was a bit cheaper because we wanted to kind of be able to offer a more luxury experience to other parts of the trip, which we were. And I went to people and said, look, honestly, I've experienced this hotel. Would you have paid an extra £300 to have a nicer hotel? Meaning the trip was 1.7, the trip would have been 2K. And they were like, honestly, once you're paying 1.7, what is 2K? Honestly, we do things in installments to make it also more accessible for people. And that's actually another very important thing. But it's just kind of like understanding that. And again, installments is really, really important. I think and it's hard because the way that me and Tamara work is that we're really operating last minute a lot of the time. But as time has gone on, we're learning we need to give people time, give them notice for the trip so they can start saving, understand their annual leave. 2, give them enough installments that if they do want to come, if it's something that they're saving up for, they actually are able to. That's what makes it accessible, right? If we're giving people 3 installments, it's only going to be accessible to people who have that money in savings or have that kind of income. While if we're giving people like 6 or 7 installments, it's a lot more manageable for people who may have jobs that aren't paying them as much or that have as much savings. That's the kind of thing we do. Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm very considerate as well, especially in this economy and how sometimes you get unplanned costs. So even if at some point you think, okay, this would have been a feasible option, it becomes tricky. But if you have 6 installments, that just helps spread out the cost.
Some people even message us and say, look, you guys have done in fact, even just the fact that we release our trips around payday as opposed to in the middle of the month, like I think that kind of makes it more helpful. At the beginning, we kind of just used to release things, but now it's kind of like we need to think about people's payment cycles when they're getting the money. Otherwise, it's going to be hard for them.
Yeah.
Sometimes people message us and say, look, I get paid on the 15th of the month as opposed to the 1st of the month.
Right.
Is it possible to kind of shift it? And I'm more often not going to say yes because it's not like telling me that
I'm not going to.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do that to make it more easier for them.
I love that. Now I want to talk about the bigger trend, right? Online to IRL. I work in brand partnerships, so I'm also seeing it from like a business point of view where brands want events, they want to activate to the consumer in person, in real life. They want to get you. Firstly, how do you feel about this trend?
I think the trend is great. I think it's nice to be able to show that community, like brands and community go hand in hand. Again, community is how brands can spread even further because you're not just getting like one person or one influencer, you're getting a wide range of communities. And in our sense, the way that they do that is by giving us PR for our gift bags. But also like you said, branded events are really good. And like we see it with Topicals, for example, and their events that they've done with Soft Life Ski, with their own ski trip, with all these other like brand deals and brand things we've seen around. I think it's really important just to show that it's not just one person, but a collective appreciation. Because at the end of the day, like, I mean, we all used to love like Kim Kardashian and Kylie and follow them, but now we're kind of drifting towards kind of seeing what the collective likes. And at the end of the day, it is kind of still herd mentality, but it's not necessarily the same way it used to be. It's kind of like, okay, so I've seen these people like it, and if they like it, and a large majority of them like it, then it should be a good thing, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to just blindly following one person.
Yeah.
So I think.
Yeah, definitely. We're shifting from like the we shifted from like artists, like, A-listers, artists, celebrities to influencer culture, and celebrity culture sort of dying. And I think now we're emerging into community leaders like yourself and Tamara, and thought leaders and people that actively put an intentional effort into making their community better.
Yeah. I would say it's quite interesting because it's kind of also like people is important for brands. It was great when you saw people's following online and you saw a number, but it's also great for brands to see what you can do with people in real life. So that's why we also see a lot of like big celebrities or even like brands having their own smaller communities because they're seeing in real life effects of what their brands and what their products can do. And I think that is important for brands as well.
Exactly, because that big following doesn't always convert. And if you have a smaller following and it is converting, then that is a bigger return on your investment.
Literally, like engagement is such a huge statistic.
Yeah,
it's really, really important. Like the comments you get is more important than the numbers you have. And yeah, brands at the end of the day, they're less. They want to see the numbers more. They want to realize things more, which is why in real life events are so valuable.
Yeah, I also think there's a trust element when you've integrated with someone in person. You get to like feel their vibes and feel their energy. Like even with this podcast, my preference is always to record in person because one, you need to pass the vibe check.
Exactly.
But two, it's just more fun. Like you can read body language. You can actually like feel like you've met them, right?
Yeah.
So I can understand why people are craving that in real life experience post COVID as well, and being locked off for so long and being disconnected and used to disconnection, and then realizing actually this isn't the norm. So I think that's interesting, and I'm happy with this shift because it's my personal preference, but I think you'll also help us shift from an individualistic society. Yeah.
Like I said before, like people aren't giving each other grace enough. People aren't being considerate enough to other people, and I think by just seeing people in person, you're more receptive to them and the way they react. If you're online, people online will be so mean and they won't have the same energy in person, but it's because they know that they can't say things to people's faces. But once you're in front of a person, you're not going to act the same way because you know we're real people. We're not just DPs online in the TikTok comment section.
Yeah. And how can creators invest back into their community?
I would say it's like me using my connections to be able to get all these free things for people on these trips. Like I love a good gift bag for a Brazil trip. There's one girl who came on our trip. She's a huge creator, and she was like, "Look, I can help you guys get PR." Was able to email a brand or a couple brands within 1 week and got us so much stuff. And from there, it was kind of like, "Look, let me help you guys. I have a PR room. Come and take lots of stuff for your Greece trip." And like that is not necessarily her community, but that's her investing in a community that she believes in and that she likes. And again, brands can learn from that. That people love free stuff. That's one thing I would say. People love free stuff. And I think what brands will see you getting free, brands will be more willing to give stuff to communities because they want to be able to spread it to a wider cast of real people. Not only that, but it also is also good for them. Like we create videos. So we create videos and show like this is what's in our gift bags, and brands enjoy being like not only just us being able to give it to people on our trips, but also being for our community, wider community online to see, look, this is what people get on our trips. And it benefits them because once people use their products, obviously, and they've got it for free, they're more likely to buy it again. Like I'm trying to think what one thing we got. We got this ordinary SPF. Great. I love it. Like genuinely haven't had an SPF I love that much. Amazing. And other people loved it too. And again, it's a thing that they will keep buying it now that they've used it. So it's nice. I think the biggest problem with PR is that we have to carry it abroad, and it's hard.
Oh yeah. How do you balance luggage and like suitcase?
So we always have to buy extra luggage. Okay. Sometimes it works out more cost effective and especially this is for like Europe trips, to get that business class seat because I get extra luggage with it. And it's not, to be fair, I've never bought a business class seat outright. I usually just use points and get it because then it's more cost effective. But again, I get my 2 pieces of luggage, both me and Tamara, and usually just 1 extra suitcase is enough because of the numbers of people we're taking.
Okay.
So like Greece, I went a day early, so I kind of took everything, but I had my suitcase, personal things, and 2 extra big duffel bags of all our stuff. And it's hard sometimes like trying to manage like all the things we're taking and the weights, but usually it works out, which is great. So far, no issues.
Nice.
Or like sometimes we might, for example, the Brazil trip, we have a friend there and she was able to organize the t-shirts being made in Brazil. So we didn't need to carry that abroad. Yeah. And for like, we're going on a cruise next month, the t-shirts were made in the States, ideally, so that we don't need to carry that abroad.
Yeah, definitely. And what does the future of Out of Office Collective look like? What do you want? Speak it into existence.
I want us to be able to do trips like at least once a month. I want us to do regular trips, trips we've done before, but also trying to explore new destinations. I want us to not just be like a travel community, but also like a source of knowledge. So like we have a Discord community right now, and it's great and all, but nobody likes Discord. It's a terrible app. And I want us to be able to kind of build something, our own community app, for example, where we would be able to, people be able to like meet different people for trips. Like one thing we have on there is like we have a find friends for travel channel, and people are able to like plan their own trips on that. But I want there to be an app which can basically, people can like post their trips on, for example, and then people can join. Also, like we already have like a huge directory of like people have sent so much recommendations, information on the Discord channel anyway about different locations. But I would love that to be like an actual knowledge bank of like recommendations of places to go to. Would also love randomly, but I would love a magazine. Like I think one of the big things I really want to build out is start doing that blog. Right now we have a monthly newsletter, but that's really just focused on our activations in London. But being able to actually take all the places we've been to and build action recommendations and like work with hotels actively to promote their places and stuff like that, I would love to do. And I think just also just being able to expand more in the US. I think the US is such a huge untouched territory for us. Like there are a lot of people who join our trips. Like last week, or say this week even, there was about 4 people of the 40 people who took to Greece who were from the States, which is great. That's the most, I think, high percentage of people from the States we've had. But I also, they complain a bit on our Discord channel and say, oh, you guys don't think about us. And we do. It's just that it's really hard to do things in the States when you're not there.
Yeah.
So I would love to be able to expand that more. Yeah, I just, in the end, I kind of just want us to grow more, access more people, build the community.
Yeah. Okay, I have a messy question. Say you're managing like the admin on the group chat, right? How much of it is how you would reply as like Mel? Like say there was something negative going on. How much of it is you be Mel, and how much of it is you being like, okay, I need to be like, professional, make everyone happy, be very what's the word? Not logical,
Diplomatic.
but diplomatic. Yeah.
At the beginning, I used to actively take part in these conversations so much, like myself. But then as time went on, the community grew bigger. Like there's so many eyes on you. Our Discord community has like 3,000 people in it. So you realize that some things you're saying 3,000 people can say. So you have to be really careful about what you say sometimes.
Yeah.
Like we don't want any you don't want any bad conversations happening that can like go out and people say, oh, someone said this on this channel when it's not a good look. At the end of the day, like the way you outwardly show to people is really important. So people do talk a lot less than they used to now because I think they've realized there's so many watching eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I'm a bit more like diplomatic in the way I respond. I have to be that person. I have to. It was fun being like part of everyone at the beginning, but now I actually have to be like responsible and shut things down if things are going a bit left. And if someone has to be like, we have rules in our channel, and if someone disobeys the rules, I have to be strict and actually like take action against them because that is not what the kind of energy we want in our community.
Yeah.
It was fun in the beginning though. The conversations we used to have were crazy. It's crazy because like we call ourselves a community of young professionals and creatives, but people would be literally sending hundreds of messages in the middle of the day. Are people like, don't you guys have jobs? Like, why are you messaging so much?
But that just shows that the relationships that they have with themselves is like so good. It's like, you still want to keep going.
Exactly. Now people have taken, I think, a lot of the energy like off the chat and in person now, which is nice. Do we want it to be as active as before? Because there's so many people, every now and then it does get active again, but it doesn't necessarily need to be, as long as we're kind of doing enough things in person. And again, we have a channel called Find Friend for Things. So people can actually like post and say, I'm going to this concert, I want to plan this meetup, and actually do things themselves. So it's not just relying on us to make things happen. And it's nice because it gives them autonomy. And it also means that we don't necessarily have to organize much socials. And people don't think that we're necessarily trying to do it because we're trying to make money or because this channel is for the people at the end of the day. People like we hold our own events, but we also give people the opportunity to do their own things too, which is nice.
Yeah. I love that. And what does belonging mean to you now after building such an amazing community?
I would say, I think belonging is just, I would say it's just being able to enjoy a shared experience with people. It doesn't necessarily mean I need to like keep in contact with these people, but it means that we've shared this memory and it's going to stay with us forever. Belonging doesn't need to be forever. It can just be in that moment, and that's enough for me. It might not be the same for other people, but it's also just kind of feeling comfortable as well. Yeah, I don't know if that's a great answer.
Yeah, I like what you said about belonging doesn't need to be forever. It can just be in that moment.
Yeah.
I really, really like that. And what would you say to someone who's listening or watching out there, who is trying to cultivate a real connection in their personal life? Where should they start from?
I think the easiest thing is to start from a shared experience. Talk about something simple. And I think the best thing about out of office is that one of the easiest things people love to talk about is travel. And I think that's what starts a lot of people off and starts conversations. So a simple question, and I guess you see it on people's dating profiles all the time, is, where have you been? What's your favorite country to go to? Such an easy conversation starter. And I guess off there you can build off so many things. It can start from countries, to go to food, to go to, or where do you want to eat in London, to all these different kind of things. The people I meet throughout office, like I used to have such a big fear of having conversations with people, but it's so simple now because all we need to do is ask a question about where they've traveled to, and it starts everywhere.
Yeah.
Best conversation starter, honestly.
I love that. And what do you hope Out of Office Collective represents in this new era of community building?
I hope it represents work hard but play harder.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
T. I absolutely love that. Okay. So at the end of my episodes, I always ask my guests these 4 questions because it translates to your ikigai, which is your sense of purpose, right? So you can answer them like rapid fire. I'll just fire them at you. What do you love?
Beaches. Well, no, sunrises.
Nice.
Yes.
What are you good at?
What am I good at? I'm good at cooking.
Yeah. Farida did say that. She said you taught her how to cook.
I taught her how to cook.
That's so amazing. That is so amazing.
I used to have a cooking page.
I remember that actually.
Yeah, it's what my page was initially. Like my TikTok page initially was a cooking page.
Yeah.
And then I kind of stopped posting and I just kind of transitioned. But yeah.
Yeah. Still very community led. Yeah. I love that. What can you be paid for other than what you're currently doing?
What can I be paid for? Gosh. A good PowerPoint presentation.
Oh, okay. I'm coming to you. And what do you think the world needs?
I think the world needs 4-day work weeks.
Yes. Mel for president. Yes, I agree. Oh my gosh. Because, yeah, we need to rest.
Look, all you need to do is work 2 extra hours a day and that's a full day.
Yeah, I don't mind, I really don't mind.
Honestly.
Yeah, take that to Parliament.
I mean, they're trying, but my old company did not want to do that because we worked for people. That's why.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, and finally, what is your playbook on building community? 3 things.
3 things. Number 1, don't be in it for the money. You're in it for the people. That's probably the most important thing. Number 2, feedback is king. Again, it's not just about you, it's about the people. And if they don't like something, you can't continue doing it because it doesn't make sense to do it, because that's not what community is. Number 3, have fun with it. I think if you're not liking it, then what's it there for? You have to enjoy it. You have to be passionate about it for it to keep going. Yeah.
Mel for the people. I love that. Honestly, thank you so much for being an amazing guest and for coming on the show. I absolutely love what you and Tamara are building with Out of Office Collective. I can't wait to see what it grows into because it's really something that people need. And I can just see it standing the test of time in whatever stages of life they're in.
I quit my job for it. I need to.
You need to pay the bills. Guys, please support Mel. I will put all the information below. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode on podcast. And please check out Of Office Collective. Everything will be in the description box. I love you and I'll see you in my next one. Mwah.